with another video, guys. Today we're gonna talk
something
about
different.
There you go, something different. So we kind of like heading towards a different direction than reacting to videos and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, but
We grown.
yeah, and it's like this is different too, and people will mess with this better because this is like straight up facts from the dome. So today we're gonna talk about how he was raised, basically on different ethnicities, ethnic groups. Yeah. So he was raised. Go ahead, Chance.
So if y'all don't know,
Y'all been asking?
y'all
If
probably
y'all
don't,
didn't know.
y'all probably
Let me
don't
tell
know.
y'all.
I'm black and I'm white, Caucasian and African American, and you are.
I'm black and a little bit of.
No, but you was raised what?
I was raised in a black family.
Okay then.
Okay,
You're
I was
wrong.
raised in an African family. Straight up.
What part of Africa did he?
I'm from Ethiopia.
Gotta let them know.
Let's take a plane to where you was
Okay,
born.
what part of
I was born. I can't tell them because they might pull up on my parents.
Yeah, true. There's only one
No, I'm
house in
from
that small
Kansas.
town, boy.
Oh, that might make sense. Oh, I'm from Kansas.
I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, where this video was taken.
Glendale, boy.
I'm not going from
The ghetto.
the south side of Phoenix.
Where?
And
That's
this-
where
Where about?
the south side.
850.
I don't know that zip code.
We don't got zip code in Africa. But I was raised
Y'all
in
got circles.
Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. For those that know, they're gonna say hey stuff like that in the comments. I'm not Eritrean, so I'm trying to include me in y'all category. I'm playing. We all the
You
same.
just
folks.
African at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
at the end of the day, I'm African, but we the same folks from Africa. I don't know why people categorize themselves from different groups, and then they want to hate on the other group. I don't hate on nobody. I think the people that are in the East Coast, I think they all kind of the same. In the West Coast, they all kind of the same. But of course, people migrate and go to different places. But yeah, I'm straight from Africa, and I was raised in a real straight up African family.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna talk about growing up. How was it like to be raised? We're gonna start from you.
Are we talking about from my perspective?
Yeah, you should have wear half black, half white shirt. Or it's already.
Are we talking about how? I'm trying to think about how I'm gonna work.
Basically, like how did it impact you, like being raised from your mom is white, your daddy is black. You know what I'm saying? So the different. Like, how was you raised? Like, did you say you was raised more as black or as white? Like, not
good
as saying
question.
black is a thing, but like
Yeah.
African American. Were you raised like that or Caucasian?
That's tough, bro.
Yeah,
Because I don't want to say anything that's gonna be like stereotypical.
exactly. I mean, you don't
I'm
have
just
to.
gonna keep it real.
your
Keep it
perspective.
real.
That's what I know.
Keep it real, bro.
So if y'all hating, it's all right.
And they gonna say like, oh, the stereotypes is real.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. So my dad is African American, black, but it was never like I would see how the black kids at my school were raised versus how I was raised, and it's different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like we weren't raised in a very. I'm not to say that black people or there's an oppression on black people, but from my perspective, it seemed that way just based on how I was raised because
Right.
we didn't grow up thinking the man was trying to put us down or that we couldn't
Right.
succeed or we were any less than other people because we were black. Like my
Mhm.
dad's a black business owner, but it was never like, oh, support me because I'm a black business owner. He's just a business owner in general. We weren't really raised to think like we were empowered by our color or anything like that. It was just very neutral. We were just regular people.
Right.
So that's just like the black side. And as far as like my mom being white, there was never like, I don't know, like everything was just normal to me. So it doesn't seem like I was raised as like a certain stereotypical way.
Facts.
Everything was pretty neutral. I think having the both ethnicities in the house made the playing field pretty neutral.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I got a whole
You
different.
think the man
The
trying
man trying to get me. The man trying to
Right.
bring me down, but
Where'd you get that concept from?
pretty much from my parents. That's specifically my stepmom and my.
Don't expose
I was about to expose them.
them. Don't expose
Hey, we just being real.
Exactly.
Yeah, be real, but like, don't. Cause
Yeah.
like, it's, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah.
Keep
Go
it
ahead,
going,
though.
We
bro.
can see it, bro.
We can bleep it out.
But yeah. I wasn't raised like that. It's just a joke, but I was raised like that wasn't the saying that I grew
Right.
up with, but I just grew up with a chip on my shoulder, so to speak. because I'm a black man. I'm not really, I don't look as
somebody chipped your shoulder.
no. I'm saying
Let him
like,
speak.
bro.
Let the black man speak.
Let the black
My
man,
fault, bro.
the man always trying to.
Even the black man.
That's crazy.
No wonder why
Dark
everything you
man.
got is black. Go ahead, dog.
That's not the reason why, bro. Let me speak, bro.
Not my fault.
I was just raised with it. Just the attitude, pretty much. Like my parents, not necessarily my dad, but my mom was, and it's funny because my mom doesn't look black. Like she's lighter than me, so. But she acts like
African
the
American.
ghettoest person you ever meet. But like living in it is totally different from the perspective I have on it now, because I'm not really like in as much as I was before, when I was living with my parents and had to abide by their rules. My mom was so strict, like she didn't let anything pass, and then my dad was like, he let stuff pass, but he wasn't as aggressive as most people would think that black men are. So
You can get whooped.
I did, but from my
your
mom,
mom?
yeah,
Okay.
my mom didn't have that, because I mean she had a bunch of black friends. Like she grew up in the South Side, so it's like she was that type to whoop you for anything, like whoop you in front of people, like
Oh shoot! So she hood.
yeah, like
She would do that.
yeah, well yeah, she would like, she didn't whoop you like crazy, but she would pull she
For your
used to
ears?
pull my ears.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, and then even like in public, like when nobody knew you, like she would yell at you, she would pull your ears, like I said, she
Oh,
would.
see, that's-
So she didn't care, pretty
Mhm.
much. Like, if you're doing something wrong, like she gonna let you know. But yeah, that's the gist of how I grew up.
Yeah,
Sure.
mine is completely different, man. Well, like I think they have a lot of like resemblance, of course, just like having to be disciplined and everything. But I think the discipline area, I think, is just like, for me, it was just like way beyond and above. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get hit with anything that's on his hand,
near,
on
yeah.
my dad's hand, and I was raised by him mainly. And so like growing up in Africa, it was just like either you a ghetto person, bro, that run around with ghetto kids,
Yeah.
because it's like there's like children that's just like literally just in the streets, like where your parents at, like, you know, and they do this daily, and my dad didn't want us to get involved with that, so he basically raised us up in the house. And I had two brothers, one younger, one older. I'm the second, and just like they played sometimes with us, like with me. Like my older brother didn't really usually play outside. And when I say outside, it's not like how the homes are here. It's like they are gated. There's like big old gates made out of brick. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just go like, oh, I see my neighbor or stuff, like nothing like that. Everything is covered up, so kind of like a prison, like small prisons. But it actually prevents it from like people trying to get up in your house, and because there's like a lot of robberies and stuff like that happens there, because it's like it's not civilized 100% yet. And it's like there's no like 911. I think they gonna kind of getting towards that point now to where you can call cops and just cops can be there. But like back when I was there, I don't think it's like that. Even now, I think it's a struggle to have cops to be there to help you. So we had a lot of restrictions on that. So we was raised in a house, like I was raised in a house where I only grew up with my brothers and that's it. So like connecting with other people was just like at school and stuff like that. And I was disciplined real good. Like we couldn't have people over. We can't go to people's houses. Like a lot of people can relate to that too.
Yeah, that's similar to how I grew up.
Yeah, like I think it's just like the basics are kind of like the same.
Yeah.
It's just like the traditions
principles?
might not be. Yeah, the traditionals might not be. So that's kind of how I was raised in. Yeah, that sums it up.
Yeah, I think it's different too. Like in America, like if you touch your kid, people are like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like child
Even more
abuse.
than now than ever.
Yeah, like
It's crazy.
you can't. So I think for you, like your level of discipline, like I feel like it could have been enforced here in the States, but it's like it's frowned upon over here to like, and this is getting worse. Like the discipline, like nowadays you can't even tell your kid to do something because they think it's like hate speech or something.
Yeah.
Like, know what I'm saying?
I think
go clean your room and then like, oh no, you gotta ask your kid for permission.
Kids are like
to speak. Like no,
kids
well,
are
I'm tearing my kids up.
Yeah,
I don't give a dang.
Kids are. I think they protected a lot, like in this country, just because of the freedom that they trying to have in this country, and it made it to where people are not disciplined. Yeah, just like.
But even like how Reverend Ricky said, like there's a difference between freedom and rebellion.
Exactly.
And it's like, I think that line is getting blurred between, are we being free or are we being rebellious? Mm-hmm. And I think that's just one of them things that's rebellious, like allowing your kid to grow up any sort of way. Like people got to understand we're the reason why. Like we're the ones that are like the, the pacemaker or whatever for the next generation. Mm-hmm. Like if the kids are crazy, the parents are crazy, or the parents allowed that to happen. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, the world is getting crazier just because parents aren't cracking down and parents aren't being parents anymore. Right. Parents are trying to be friends with their kids.
Yeah, big factor.
Like, a lot of like my generation, like they're like, oh, I want to have my kids' first beer with me. I want to I want them to party
and
with me.
It's the fact that how close of age they are too.
Yeah, that's true.
They're like 10 years apart. It's like what?
Just to piggyback on what he just said, as far as the age difference, I don't know the logistics or the statistics of the actual factual, but yeah, honestly, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I would say is like, I mean, there's some parents that have their kids young and just like, and they raise their kids up right. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not categorizing everybody to be in the same box, but the majority you can see, and you can tell like kids are like some parents and kids you can't even tell which one is which. Mm-hmm. Like which one is the dad, which one is the mom. You know, exactly. Like, and that's crazy. I mean, I'm not bashing on them or anything like that. That's cool, you know, to look young and stuff like that.
That's how my mom is. Like a lot of times people ask like, y'all sister?
Yeah, y'all siblings.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like that's cool at some points, but at the same time, it's like if she didn't raise you up as a son and a mom, I think that's difficult because then now you are her friend and then just like. Growing up, I don't think you'll be able to discipline and know the difference between a parent and a friend, and that's a big issue with this generation. Right. But I would like to ask you, like, what do you think? Like, how were you treated versus like, because you say you was raised as a black and white. Like, how were you treated in your society? Like, were you treated as black and white? Or
That's a good question.
Shout out Logic. Shout out J. Cole.
No, shout out me.
Shout out Lil Pump. No, I don't think.
Put my Instagram right here. It's different, cause you know, like there'd be conversations like, so I would hang around the black kids majority or like early on, cause I was in sports and stuff like that. So, particularly basketball, and most basketball players are
black,
African American. Yeah,
and so, I've always been like growing up, like I didn't like when people would say like the N-word around me, and then if I acknowledge it, they'd be like, "Well, you're not even black, so why does it bother you?" You know what I'm saying? Right. And then vice versa. So it's kind of like, there was a quote, I don't know who said it, but like too white for the blacks and too black for the whites. Okay. That's kind of how it was. Like, so I mean, I just found my place with my people south of the border. You feel me? I kind of just it's different though. Like. I mean, it's not like I had like an identity crisis or anything like that, so I felt like I didn't know who I was. But it's
difficult.
I think other people made it difficult.
Oh, okay.
Like my perspective was always the same, like neutral, like I said, but the people framed it differently, and so I think that's that. But I mean, I grew up in a town that was majority Mexican, so
right.
How does that affect you now?
What do you mean?
Like look back and how does that, you not being accepted by both sides, but you being around.
Because like back then you might not care as much.
Yeah.
Or even at times like you might not see it affecting you, but did it affect you in the long term? Like right now, and it's like, where are you right now in your mindset of like, do you hate black, or do you hate white, or do you just like treat them equally?
I mean it's the same. I believe like,
I agree.
Like from the outside. People assume I'm black already.
Yeah.
So there's not much I can do unless I like pull out baby pictures or family pictures and show my whole family. But I don't think it's changed how I see things or how I treat people or anything like that. to society, I'm just a regular black man, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like,
to me, it's just like, I think whenever it comes to identifying somewhere like in a group, like when you say you were black or you're white or something like that, I just like, I don't think everybody should base it off of color. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because color is just like your color, nothing else. Like, I think your identity is who you are raised and how you were raised. Like, where were you raised at? So let's say you was white and you was raised in Asia, you know what I'm saying? And so now you categorize, you classify as those people that grew up with you, around you, because that's what society that brought you up, even though your color is different. I think the color doesn't make you
I mean,
who
I
you
would
are.
say that could be more of your cultural identification.
Your cultural identification,
So like your actual identification.
Like your race can be white or black, but your ethnicity, because I looked up what ethnicity meant, and means like the social group that raised you up and the social group that you was raised under, that's your ethnicity. So your ethnicity is just different than what your bloodline is.
Right.
And so whenever you were raised like I said, in Asia, being black or anything like that, that's their ethnicity. It becomes that. Your bloodline is originally from this group of people, but then now you're raising this people, so now you classify yourself from this people. But people sometimes, let's say you was black and you act not act white, because you can't act white, but you act knowledgeable, or you speak a little different.
But it's weird even trying to speak on these type of things, because like if you try to break it down to the root, it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like,
people judge.
Yeah, because if you're like, oh, if you speak right, then it's like, oh, so you're saying black people don't speak right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's like, but I mean, that's just the way we're speaking from the way the culture has designed it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if any of y'all are like getting offended at anything we say, it's just, that's just the culture we live in. Like, that's, I mean, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, we're talking about conversations that people don't usually talk about on YouTube.
Big facts.
It's an uncomfortable situation.
But I
So
mean, we
we
all
get
have
down
like
to
it's the spectrum, you know what I'm saying? From white to African.
Yeah.
So,
And it's like, if you guys have like opinions, like definitely put it down. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, everybody, I mean, of course,
Everybody goes.
not every black person was raised in like a predominantly like in the ghetto or per se or vice versa. But I mean, we're just speaking from what we know. So
We get to a point where we identifying and grouping people by their colors. So since you this color, you from the ghetto. Since you this color, you from the rich neighborhood, and that's not facts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's very different for everybody, for literally everybody. But the majority, of course, says this person is from like a lot of people that are discolored. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way you can expect somebody that's like blacker than Dark Knight himself, and you expect them to come from like Scotland or something like that, somewhere that's very, very, very white. Even though that could happen rarely, and that's why I think whenever it comes to like categorizing people based on like our first impression, that's when it becomes like a problem. Like, if you categorize somebody off of first impression by just looking at them, I think you misjudge them. Really, you gotta get to know them before you really say, okay, this person.
I think the fact that there's any sort of color involved in anything is this is wrong.
It's just
in
wrong.
general.
Think about it. If everybody was green, we won't have that problem. If everybody was blue, we won't have that problem. We're just gonna have that problem of wherever you raised at.
Right.
But I mean, they'll always find a problem. They'll be like, oh, well, your hair is different than these sort of green.
No, I'm just saying, if everybody looked
like if
identical,
yeah,
like our ants look.
Like Whoville.
Ants don't be hating each other. Like, you from this side of town. Like, nah, they'll all work together, bro, to get their food in it.
So I mean, it's just like, if you think about the totality of everything, like, everybody is so oppressed, and everybody's in such a defense mode. You know what I'm saying? Like,
about who they are.
Yeah, like
That
a lot
goes
of
back
black
to
people
the past too.
Yeah.
Especially like slavery and how the whites own. So that I know that affects
A lot of people.
a lot of people.
Because I mean, if you think a lot of black people like, a lot of black people are racist, but to them they're in a defense mode to where it doesn't seem as if it's a racial thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they think every white cop is out to get them.
Yeah.
That's racist.
That is straight up.
But they're in a defense mode, so it doesn't seem like
they're trying to justify it for it for them.
Right.
It's a different standpoint. Instead of like in the slavery times, the white people were taking the offense. You know what I'm saying? So it seemed more easier to classify it as something that's racist. But everybody, like, not everybody, but I feel like every ethnic group is at that point of defense nowadays, to where it's like it's being racist, but it's like it's kind of like being covered.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like it's a defensive sort of
defensive mechanism.
Yeah, and it's like it's not gonna get any better, because you think about it, like people are like, for instance, Black History Month.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we have to have a specific month just for that? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people believe that they're owed something. Like, just because my ancestors suffered from slavery, that has nothing to do with me.
It's just like, because they see Black History Month as like a month dedicated for Black folks and what they have been through.
Right.
And I don't think that's a problem. I think the fact that it's just like, if Black History Month have one, I think everybody should have one based on what they went through also. That's no problem, because like let's say like Independence Day is for people that fought for our independence. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that there should be a day for that. And also, like, for anybody that went through something, I don't think that's a problem. I think the problem is just like taking that month as like, okay, I need more respect in that month, or I need to be treated different way in that month because my forefathers went through this and stuff like that. I think everybody should come together on Black History Month, whatever month it is, and come together and say, okay, we celebrate the people that fought for us. We celebrate people that suffered for this and that and cause and stuff like that. Right. And not just categorize just one group of people in one month and leave out the rest too. You know what I'm saying? And like a lot of people that suffered through that, I think they're not here anymore as much. I know there's some people that are grandparents. I know there's some people that are getting treated bad right now even. Yeah. But this is our thoughts. What are you guys' thoughts? You know,
comment down below. We might do a part 2 on this video, because
this is deep.
We're running short on time and battery.
This is deep.
Yeah.
Real
comment
deep.
down below. Let us know what y'all think.
Yes, sir.
Share it with people so that we can get your input. That way, when we move further into other videos, we'll be mindful of all of that.
We got some more serious content coming.
Hey, true.
Coming our way.
Relationship advice, whatever.
You heard.
You heard now.
Topics.
We out.
Hey, we